Okay, so here I am with the lovely, amazing Katherine Kousi.
Aw, thank you, love. Thank you.
Will you just explain who you are as an individual?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so who I am, I would say first I was my father's daughter. So dad died 2 years ago, love of my life. And then I would say I'm the mother of 3 children, 3 beautiful boys. And then I would say for sure that I'm an artist. So those 3 things. And I think I came out being an artist. It's not something that like you go to school with or you do. It's something that I think you're born with. And I think I was a late bloomer. I think that I was married for 17 years. And yeah, I don't know, different, late bloomer.
And what does self-love mean to you?
Self-love. You know what? I have to say, I'm really lucky. Because from the moment I was born, my father, I could do no wrong. I would walk in the room, he would be like, look at you, my star, my queen, my love. And so the combination, I think, of being born was sort of the roots of that, which is, comparable to a tree. And then also nature versus nurture, then being like nurtured in a way that was like so incredibly loving and bathing in my self-confidence. And I was able to, I think that's a lot of it. I think that's a lot of it. And I just, self-love is like, I dig who I am. I think more so now, definitely with age comes knowledge and wisdom. Mm-hmm. So I'll be 50 May 3rd, and I'm sort of welcoming it because I just feel like I am more comfortable as the year gets older, as the years go on, with my inward and what's going on. I've always sort of, I've always sort of dug myself.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Would you say there's like any specific traits or aspects you just love about yourself?
Yeah, no, I think I'm really funny. I think I'm really, really, I'm artistic, talented. I see the world definitely with different eyes than everybody else. I have empathy and like, I have something that happens naturally with me, which is I turn off the brain and I watch and observe naturally. So, and that's sort of a gift. That's a gift.
It is.
They call it sitting back in the seat of yourself. So I'm looking that way.
Are there any ways in particular you practice your self-love? Are there any like things you do daily?
Yeah. I go out, I spend a lot of time outside. And whether it's like today, for example, I sat on the beach, I went for a long walk. I closed my eyes and I tried to see how long I could trust myself with my eyes closed and walk in a straight line, or where would I go? And listening as I'm doing meditation. And then I'd open my eyes and I'd be sort of like to the left, and then I'd close my eyes again, and I sort of walk to the right, like doing that. You know, it's like little things like that. And for me, what's helped me a little bit, I've had like 4 years of divorce, dad dying, and I think what's been grounding for me is that knowing that like all I have is today. What am I gonna do with today? Like it's this like box. Okay, I'm gonna do like give it 100%. Whatever that is, I'm gonna do that. And the brain kind of turns off. It doesn't go to the future. It's not like doing the rhetoric of the past. And I don't know if that comes from like having trauma and having, but it sort of naturally condenses into a 24-hour period. So I'm like, all right, I can do that. That's I can handle that.
Would you just like kind of sum that up in saying you do practice that in being present? Is that like
yeah?
That's
And you know, it comes much more natural to me than I think most. And I mean, listen, you know, it could mean that like I have like one less brain cell than everybody else. I don't know. I mean, you know, it's never been like I've never been a computer or phone person. It's always sort of been right here. So there is a beauty in that. There's a freedom. There's a real freedom because I think that it eliminates fear.
Yeah, I can agree.
So it's almost like, so maybe I've had like 10 concussions. It's that feeling of like free falling. I'm like, all right,
just go with the flow.
trust, faith, you know?
Okay. Are there like what are times that you feel most comfortable in your self-love?
Art, painting. Oh my gosh, painting for sure. And then when someone comes in and they're like, who's the artist? It's like, I'm right here.
That's me.
That's me. Yeah, no, that's like, it's art, you know? And it's funny because it's like somebody can, you know, compliment, you know, me on, oh, that's a very pretty dress, which maybe I made that dress, but, or, oh, your skin's so beautiful, but nothing compares to somebody walking in and being like, wow, you're the, oh my God, how do you, wow. It's like, all right, I made it. You know, it's such a beautiful, beautiful feeling. And then also like, you know, unfortunately having somebody pay you for what you love to do is such a gift.
That is
Such a gift, such a gift. I mean, I love, that's all I mean, it's like the idea of like me working, going into my studio for 4 or 5 hours a day is like a dream. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's the selling aspect that's not so great, but you know, we work on that.
Do you ever find yourself in conflict with loving yourself?
You know, there's moments where I get hard on myself. But I think it's circumstantial. And there's times, and I remember it's like there's times in the last year where, or last 4 years where I would cry uncontrollably and I'd be like, get a hold of yourself. And I'd come on, let's get a hold of yourself. And I know that it will pass. I now know it's passing. It's a black cloud. It's like, so I'm in it. And I let that be. I used to beat up on myself a little bit. I was like, come on, man, you know, don't cry, get up. And now I'm like, all right, let it pass, let it be, let it be. I mean, sometimes I get beaten down by things that aren't necessarily worth the fight, you know. And I wish I was more involved. But you know, I feel like I'm lucky. I feel like I'm really like I was given a gift of loving who I am. You know.
Mm-hmm. I do. I do. Now I know because I'm like hearing it.
Yeah, it's like,
And ever since I like met you, I knew you loved yourself.
yeah,
Especially because you extended the love to me,
yeah.
and it was like
That's-
overwhelming. It was kind of a brand new experience. So
Yeah, that's actually that's good insight because I think you're right. I think when somebody's like feeling, I think no, Grover. I think when somebody's feeling like they're good inside, it's like it's here. Let me share with you. Let me give you. Let me help you. What do you need? You know, unconditionally. I think. Yeah, but it's been a you know a path of you know there was no plan B for me. You know, it's like I left and I'm wear my heart on my sleeve, which can become somewhat of a problem sometimes. You know, but ultimately a good thing.
and I know you kind of said when you find yourself in conflict, you understand it as a time that'll pass.
Yeah.
Is that like a way you'd say you kind of like cope with that conflict? Just understanding that it's a time that will pass? Or is there...
Yes, and then another way of coping, which you know I'm constantly learning every day of you know little tidbits of you know tools to sort of navigate through this crazy life. And you know, someone the other day said to me, "You have to feel the emotion and let your body metabolize it. You can't push it down because it's going to come up in some other way." So yeah, be in it. You know, be in that like, ugh, like looking forward to the years to come because I feel like I just started reading directions, if that makes any sense. It's like before it was always like, oh, I know how to do this, I know how to put this thing together, I know how to... Now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna open the box, I'm gonna read the directions, I'm gonna look at the picture. I'm not gonna put it together with the picture. I'm actually read the directions. You know? And that's slowing down.
Nice.
And that's being present. So I'm excited about that. And it like shows my art because it's like, no, you can't sell a painting that's like scratched with, you know, dog hairs on it here and, you know, half-assed. You can't do that. You gotta like 100%. So, yeah.
If you could just kind of say in a phrase what you always owe to your self-love, what would that phrase be?
I say to myself recently, which I said this morning, sit back in the seat of yourself, which you heard me say before, which is don't be so quick to react and vocalize. Sit back, watch, listen. The ego subsides. Don't have to be right. Sit back and just watch and not do anything. You know, be. Because the wave's coming. You cannot stand in front of it. So we're going to ride it. So let's ride it. Let's just, we're going to ride it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Catherine.
Welcome.
Catherine also, beyond being just an artist and mother and lover and amazing and daughter, I got to nanny for her and work with her for like a year, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness, and my kids don't want anybody else, and it's, you know, and I don't want anybody else, and now we're hanging out, like having wine and cheese, and, you know, it's nice. It's nice the way the world evolves. So, thank you, love.
Love you.